Yo, what is up YouTube? It is your boy here, Carity Fiber, aka The Real Ric Flair, and today I'm back with yet another video, and today is going to be the very first pilot episode of Professor Rick. Now, we are going to get started today. The first episode is going to be on what you see in front, fiber. And we're going to go over different foods of fiber rich, we're going to go over supplements, stuff like that. But let's go ahead and jump into 6 different benefits that I felt were key for this video. And then we're going to flip this board over. We're going to break down the different types of fibers. So let's go ahead and start off with number 1, digestive health, which I'm pretty sure you haven't been living under a rock. But if you have, fiber is going to make your stool softer. It's also going to help with your hemorrhoids. And shoot, if you've been working out as long as I have, obviously that's going to be a problem. So fiber is super great for that. Now, a little backstory on fiber. That's kind of how I got my name in the first place, Carity Fiber. 14 years ago, I used to be super chunky. I used to be a real fat ass. And anyhow, fiber was one of my secret weapons that I used. A lot of. I didn't take supplements back then. I didn't take nothing. And I was working out at home with nothing but mop handles, water jugs, trash bags, push-ups, you name it. Anything but a gym. I didn't have that. And I went from 245 pounds of fat down to 130 pounds in 3 months. No supplements, no nothing like that. So, let's go ahead and jump into number 2, weight management. Now, a lot of people will say that, a high fiber diet, like when you're eating foods such as fruits, vegetables, whole grains, stuff like that, people tend to believe that it makes you feel fuller longer and doesn't make you as hungry as often. I never experienced that myself. I eat a heavy fiber diet every day, and I can eat like a horse if I really want to. But for some people, it might help. Fiber helped me lose weight by number 1. Of course, I worked out constantly. Every single day I was training. My eyes were open. I was training and studying. But I would do this little secret method. I would go and get a box of Fiber 1 bars, and I would eat the whole box in one sitting. Now, obviously, that caused a lot of cramping and discomfort. It was pretty bad. I pretty much couldn't be far from the bathroom, but guess what? You basically shit all that weight off. Number 3, let's go over here. Lowers cholesterol and is great for your heart health. Now, if you have diabetes, knock on some wood, I don't get that. I was pre-diabetic when I was chunky, but fiber is going to be your best friend if you're a diabetic. So let's jump into this a little bit. What fiber is going to do is going to help lower your LDL, which is aka your bad cholesterol, which if you're a diabetic and all that good stuff is pretty much, it's not a death sentence, but you might as well call it that. So eating beans like soluble fiber, eating beans, fruits, oats, stuff like that binds to your cholesterol into the digestive system, allowing the body to more or less absorb it, which will help lower your LDL, aka bad cholesterol levels. Now let's go ahead and jump into number 4, and this is a really good one here, especially for people with diabetes, and even if you don't, you want to keep that blood sugar low anyway. So let's go ahead and jump into that. Fiber, what it will do is it will slow down the absorption of sugar into your bloodstream. Now, this is a crucial thing for managing diabetes. I've got a lot of friends who have diabetes, and basically, from the understanding, the way they will put it to you who don't have diabetes is if you eat a candy bar, let's say you eat a candy bar. Now, if you don't have diabetes, it's going to make your blood sugar levels spike like up to here, right? But in a couple of hours, you're going to notice it going back down to normal. Now, if you have diabetes, it's going to spike up here, and instead of going down like that, over time, it's going to go boop, 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 and maybe like 8 hours later, then it might go down, basically. That's just a English way of putting it. So now let's jump into number 5. Now this one is really great. I really love this for this reason. Also, fiber is a prebiotic, which is great for your gut microbiome support, And basically, a lot of people don't understand this. Your guts kind of control everything about you. So if you have bad guts, you have a bad stomach, your stomach's always tore up, That's going to raise your anxiety levels. That's going to raise your stress levels. I mean, you're just going to be a walking disaster pretty much. So anytime you can do anything to help your guts, do it. You know, there's no reason you shouldn't take fiber supplements. You know, they're a great prebiotic. Do you not want to be healthy? Do you not want to be not crazy? Then you should definitely be taking your fiber and your probiotics. Probiotics we will jump into in another video. But I really wanted to shout that out there, the gut microbiome. You really want to take care of that. Because basically what fiber does is it feeds the good bacteria in the gut. Basically promoting it to be more healthier and all that good stuff. You really want that. Trust me, as someone who does suffer from mental illnesses, boom, you really want to take care of your guts. For sure. Now, number 6, we have reduced disease risks, which is pretty much like your cardiovascular disease, which, you know, if you have, you know, a lot of blood sugar problems and you got high cholesterol, what does that do? That clogs up your arteries. What does that mean? Bypasses. You do not want that. I know plenty of people who have had that, and trust me, it's not fun, it's scary, it's a nightmare. You do not want that. So if you want to try to prevent that, boom, fiber, probiotics, stuff like that. Keep that, you know, cholesterol low. So basically, regular consumption of these high fiber foods will help kind of control your LDL and help control your cholesterol, all that good stuff. And one of the big ones is your colon cancer. Also helps prevent that, helps aid and prevent it. So that's another reason you should be having your fiber. And that's another reason we will talk about that again when we go over probiotics. They're kind of similar. Pre's and pros are kind of similar, or you're going to think they are when we get to them. But we're going to break all that down over time. Now let's go ahead and jump into the other part about fiber here. Alright, now let's jump into soluble fiber, which is going to be like your mixes. Sorry about my handwriting on there. When I got to the second part, you know, this part is like, it's programmed into my brain. So don't even worry about this part. Well, don't worry about my handwriting. Soluble fiber is going to be like your mixes, like your fiber powders, Metamucil, stuff like that. Fiber supplements that are powder form is going to be in, you know, can mix with water, stuff like that. So there you have that. And of course, you know, like gelatin-like substances, stuff like that, helping to lower your cholesterol and manage your blood pressure and all that good stuff. Also, it could be like oats, peas, beans, apples, citrus fruits. That's why I eat a lot of oranges and mandarins, tangerines, stuff like that. Now, if you really want to nuke it, grapefruit. But I can't stand grapefruit. I love citrusy fruit, but grapefruit is just too bitter for me. Let's go ahead and jump into the insoluble fiber, which is number 2 there. Which pretty much means it does not dissolve in water. It adds more to like bulk stools, whatnot. So anyhow, here we go with that. It's going to be more of your whole wheat, your brands, nuts, vegetables, stuff like that. And there's nothing wrong with either one. It's good to have both in you. Now we're going to jump into the supplements. So, let's say you got a crap diet, or you're trying, right? You're really trying to get a good, clean diet to yourself. But, you know, you're busy. Let's say you're working a lot, or you're traveling a lot, stuff like that. It's really good to focus on a good diet. But you also can help yourself by having supplements. Now, I used to bang out fiber ones like crazy. Now that, you know, I've been doing this for over 14 years, you know, when I first started, I could handle the box of fiber ones in a sitting. I could handle that then. Yeah, it's painful and brutal. But now, you know, I'm trying to keep... Alright, now we're on to the supplements. So as you see in here, we have the Fiber Advanced Gummies. Now these are 6 grams of fiber per serving, and every serving is 3 gummies. Now I take about 10 of these a day. And the main reason I use this brand is because somebody gave me a massive pile of these. Unopened. I mean, I've got enough to last me a Cold War of these things. But typically any decent brand will do, you know, all of them are pretty good to an extent. The more you pay, the better quality, you know, stuff like that. It just depends on you. Now, I take 10 of these a day, even though I have a high fiber diet as it is. But it's recommended that you get at least 28 to 38 grams of fiber in you every day. You know, I clear a little bit more, I'd say. But that's because I've been doing it for so long, 14 years, of course my stomach's used to it. Now, talking about stomachs. When you first start taking any fiber products or any protein products, you're going to get the dumps for about 2 weeks. Me personally, it was about 2 weeks straight. I was dumping probably 4 or 5 times a day. My stomach had the BGs. You know, that's normal. That's what scares a lot of people off when it comes to protein shakes and fiber supplements, is the dumping. But that's normal. You got to give it time to your stomach to get used to it, your body to get used to it, you know. And fiber is one of those things that is kind of meant to make you do that in a way, you know. So, you know, don't be alarmed if that happens. If you see the front of it there, you can see where it says the same amount of fiber as any leading powder brand. Supports digestive, immune system health, and all that good stuff. You know, which we cleared that a minute ago in the video. But yeah, this is a good brand here, and here in a moment I'm going to actually go over some actual fiber-rich foods. Not going to go over a lot of different foods because you already know, you know, get you a good fiber chart. That's all you got to do. So I hope y'all like this section here. Now let's go ahead and jump into the foods. Alright, so now we're on to the food groups here. And this is just a few little things I'm showing here. Like blueberries, for instance, are one of my go-tos for fiber. Same as broccoli, which is about to pop up here in just a second here. The broccoli is really good. I like to eat that every day with my chicken. Same thing goes with the blueberries. I like to eat those every day as well. I usually blend them up into shakes, or I put them into yogurt. There's so many great ways to do it. And I do not cook my broccoli now. I like it raw. Now is watermelon. I love to eat watermelon every day as well too. I try to have me at least 3 to 4 slices of watermelon. I can eat my weight in that stuff. And there's so many good benefits to all of these different fruits and foods that we're going to be showing right now. We will discuss all of that at a later date, just since this is a video about fiber. Now we have our whole wheats, our nuts. All of this stuff here is high in fiber, especially those beans and all that. All of that's really great for you. I do try to watch my bread intake just because of the carbs, but it's still high in fiber and a good choice.